Good morning, students. Today's our topic is register. At first, we want to know what is register. Array of flip flop is called the register. We know the four type of register. One is serial in serial out, another is serial in parallel out, another is parallel in serial out, and fourth is parallel in parallel out. First is serial in serial out. Serial in serial out shift register means we enter the data in serially and we get the output is also serial fashion. This is the 4-bit serial in serial out shift register. Here we use 4 JK flip-flop. These 4 JK flip-flop is connected each other. The Xi is the input, Y0, Y1 is the output. These here we use the 4 negative clock pulse. This negative clock pulse is connected each other. This point is called clear and this point is called preset. This is the whole circuit description. So at first we enter the input in serial fashion and we get the output is also serial fashion. Means when we enter the input, this time clock pulse is necessary, and when we get the output this time clock pulse is also a necessary. So suppose we take the arbitrary 4-bit input like xi equal 0 1 1 1. So the msb bit is 0 and lsb bit is 1. So when this input is enter this circuit, this time we start the LSB bit. So this is the truth table clock pulse xi, qd, qc, qb, qa. So initially the clock pulse is 0. This time all the flip-flop output is 0. Means qd 0, qc 0, qb 0, qa 0. So at the first input is 1. Means xi is 1. Xi is 1. First the clock pulse we this time the 1 is enter qd flip-flop. Okay, that's why qd is 1. qd value is go to the qc flip-flop. That's why qc is 0. qc value is go to the qb. That's why qb is 0. qb value is go to the qa. That's why qa is also 0. That means y0 equal to 0. Similarly, when we enter the next one, this time qd is 1, qc is also 1, qb is 0, qa is 0. Next we enter 1, qd 1, qc 1, qb 1, qa 0. Next we enter 0. Similarly, qd 0, qc 1, qb 1 and qa also 1. Next is timing diagram. We know the two type of clock pulse. One is positive clock pulse, another is negative clock pulse. Here we use the negative clock pulse. This is the negative clock pulse. Here is the one mistake. This dotted line is draw in this section. Okay, so this is one pulse. This is one negative pulse. So we go to the truth table. Xi. When the clock pulse is 0, this time xi is 1. When the clock pulse 1, 2, this time xi is also 1, 1. Clock pulse 3, 4, this time xi is 0, 0. So initially xi is 1 when the clock pulse is 0, this time 1. clock pulse 1 2, this time xi is also 1 1, clock pulse 3 4, xi 0 0. Similarly, qd, when the clock pulse is 0, qd is 0, clock pulse 1 2 3, qd is 1, clock pulse 4 is again 0. So qd initially is clock pulse 0 is 0, clock pulse 1 2 3, qd is 1, clock pulse 1 2 3, qd is 1, clock pulse 4 is 0, clock pulse 4 is 0. Similarly, qc, qb and qa is drawn here. In circuit, mainly one disadvantage. In this circuit, mainly one disadvantage. As we get the present input, is bit by bit. So the previous output is destroyed. Next topic is serial in parallel out. Serial in parallel out means when the input is entered serially, but the output, we get the output in parallel fashion. That means when we enter the input serially, this time clock pulse is given, but when the output, we get the output is parallel fashion, this time clock pulse is not necessary. Here, this is the total circuit diagram. Here we use 4 D flip-flop, 1 2 3 4. These 4 D flip-flop is connected each other. Here we use the 4 clock negative clock pulse. This all negative clock pulse is connected each other. This is the clear, this preset, this xi is the input, this qd, qc and qb and qa is the parallel output. This is the whole description of this circuit diagram. Next day we discuss the parallel in parallel out and parallel in serial out. Thank you.